Hello, guys. Thanks for coming to Politics and Life. This is Jordan. I hope all my freedom-loving patriots are having a blessed day. If you wouldn't mind, please like, comment, hit that subscribe button. If you are coming from Twitter, aka X, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Politics and Life, or you can search me at California JB5460. Today we are reacting to two videos. One, Sky News Australia, Lefties Losing It, and Don't Walk Run, where they expose the Democrat Party during Trump's state joint of Congress, where, as you know, the Democrat Party is in full tanking right now. They have nothing to offer. They have no policies to offer. They are just screaming, crying like little kids, and it's just getting worse by the day. Now they are literally setting Tesla dealerships on fire and attacking people who own Tesla vehicles. They have nothing. They give you nothing. And at this point, they're just tyrants trying to cry like little babies because the election didn't go their way. If anything, they are turning off more Democrats and sending them to the conservative sides, which is just the common sense, free thinking side. If you wouldn't mind, please like, comment, subscribe. Let's get it started, y'all.
In Trump's address to a joint session of Congress, Congressman Green decided to cause a scene.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Now, anyone watching Trump's address from home had no idea what the congressman was yelling, but great protest, Al. You saved democracy or something.
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican.
So Green yelled at Trump 3 times before Speaker Johnson gave any kind of warning.
Dude's an idiot.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions.
But Congressman Green stood his ground and kept going because not all superheroes wear capes.
That's your warning.
This is the same Al Green that is now trying to impeach Trump again. No joke. They are saying they're going to impeach Trump for the 3rd time now. The Democrat Party at this point is just laughable. They offer nothing besides emotion, zero policies, zero benefits for the American people because they think the American people are too stupid to counter-argue their lies. It's disgusting behavior. Like
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant at Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful.
Also, if they always say no mandate on the left, but when they leave, when they win, they say it's a mandate. The only states that Kamala won are the only states that didn't require voter ID. Example, my state of California. Let me tell you, I see love for Trump all throughout the state, on cars, outside houses, everywhere. And it's probably a 10-to-1 ratio in support of Trump compared to Democrats. So if they had legal voting requiring voter ID, I really believe that California would easily be red, just like the rest of the country.
And concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Bye, Felicia.
I was making it clear to the president that he has no mandate to cut Medicaid. I have people who are very fearful.
Also, this is like the left's favorite point to say every 4 years before an election, now every day they're saying it, that they're going to take away Medicare and Medicaid. When Trump has said countless times that's not happening, what they're doing is looking into the systems and seeing these people that are 100+ years old, even up to 300 years old, which are collecting Social Security and all these benefits when they're dead. They're not real people. So where do you think that money is going to? It is amazing how dumb the Democrat Party thinks everyday Americans are. We are not dumb. You're dumb. We aren't dumb.
These are poor people, and they have only Medicaid in their lives when it comes to their health care. And I want him to know that his budget calls for deep cuts in Medicaid.
However, Trump and the Republicans have stated over and over again that they aren't going to touch Medicaid benefits, let alone Medicare and Social Security.
Can you guarantee that Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security will not be touched?
Yeah, I mean, I have said it so many times, you shouldn't be asking me that question.
President Trump has been unequivocally clear on this. He is going to protect Social Security and Medicare benefits and Medicaid for hardworking Americans who paid into these entitlement programs.
There are some of us who are going to stand up against this president's desire to cut Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security.
What were you saying?
Well, maybe Al Green's constituents are afraid of cuts to Medicaid because he's spreading lies about Trump cutting Medicaid. But Democrats got a Democrat.
Literally, friends,
I'm going to do a video as well about the Breakfast Club getting canceled as of yesterday for making fun of that guy, that little kid that had brain cancer that Trump sworn in to be a protector. And they are making fun of his hair, saying he wasn't black, calling his hair nappy. And I just cannot stand the Breakfast Club. They are so disgusting and openly racist, and it has been going on for years. Disgusting behavior.
my coat, my cane, and I was about to make my exit because I really didn't want to sit through what I knew the president would do.
Mm-hmm. So Trump wasn't even into the third minute of his address, and Green couldn't take it anymore. What a baby.
So as I was about to make my exit, he made this statement about his mandate. And I said to him, you have no mandate to cut Medicaid. And by the way, I didn't come to say that. Mm-hmm. I did not. It was spontaneity. It was just something.
Spirit movie.
Yes. So I said it.
So if he didn't plan it in advance, it means that he's just a whiny loser who can't control his emotions, like the majority of Democrats. Anyway, 2 days later, the House voted to censure Congressman Green.
By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker.
If you're singing, you're losing. Also, overcome what exactly? Now, look, I wasn't going to make a video about any of this until Congressman Green went on a publicity tour, receiving a hero's welcome in the process.
You know, you caused some good trouble the other night when you stood up and spoke out.
He did not obey. We begin today's show with Democratic Congressmember Al Green of Texas. Thank you for joining us. Why did you interrupt President Trump's speech?
President Trump indicated that he had a mandate, and I wanted to let him know that he didn't have a mandate.
Didn't we just win the presidency, the Senate, and Congress? I'm pretty sure that is a mandate, that the American people do not trust scumbags like yourself, sir.
Some people are saying your freedom of speech was denied during this session.
Congressman Green knew he would face repercussions for taking a stand during the joint address, and that's not surprising. He has been fighting for civil rights for quite some time now.
I believe that we have to move forward with righteous incivility.
Translation, it's okay when Democrats are uncivil because they claim that they're on the right side of history or whatever.
Frontieras is rapidly advancing in the clean energy sector. You can be an early investor in Frontieras.
Next, Congressman Green made an appearance on CNN. Frederica Whitfield tried to compare what Green did with past incidents of so-called disruptions.
You saw Congressman Joe Wilson, who, yelled, you lie. You had Justice Alito with his expression saying not true, and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Of course, Frederica Whitfield only gave examples of so-called disruptions perpetrated by Republicans. But let's take a closer look and see if any of those incidents were remotely the same as Al Green's disruption. First, there's Representative Joe Wilson, who yelled out during President Obama's address to Congress in September 2009.
There are also those who claim that our reform efforts would ensure illegal immigrants. This too is false. The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally. It's not true.
Congressman Wilson quickly apologized to President Obama, who in turn accepted Wilson's apology. But that wasn't good enough for House Democrats, who insisted that Wilson issue a formal apology on the House floor. When Wilson refused, the House approved a resolution of disapproval by a vote of 240 to 179. This is what Democrats are doing instead of codifying Roe v. Wade into law. Sad, really. The next incident occurred during President Obama's State of the Union address in 2010, where it appears that Justice Samuel Alito mouthed the words "not true" during the following statement by Obama.
With all due deference to separation of powers, last week the Supreme Court reversed a century of law that I believe will open the floodgates for special interests, including foreign corporations, to spend without limit in our elections.
So not only did Obama call up the Supreme Court to their faces, but what he claimed the Supreme Court did was bull. Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter Linda Greenhouse wrote the following in the New York Times. Justice Alito shook his head as if to rebut the president's characterization of the Citizens United decision and seemed to mouth the words, "not true." Indeed, Mr. Obama's description of the holding of the case was imprecise. He said the court had reversed a century of law, the law that Congress enacted in the populist days of the early 20th century prohibited direct corporate contributions to political campaigns. That law was not at issue in the Citizens United case and is still on the books. In other words, Obama lied. But regardless, someone mouthing words on the House floor during a presidential address is not punishable. Otherwise, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib would be in federal prison because she did this for the entirety of Trump's address. It's so weird that Frederica Whitfield wouldn't point out Rashida Tlaib's antics. I know you're shocked. Anyway, the final example was during Joe Biden's final State of the Union when Marjorie Taylor Greene called out Laken Riley's name while Biden was claiming that Republicans didn't care about border security.
But unfortunately, politics has derailed this bill so far. I'm told my predecessor called members.
Yeah, there is a big difference between Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that Americans are dying due to your open border policies compared to you just screaming and causing chaos and just spreading lies saying Trump's going to cancel Medicaid and Medicare. It's just huge, stark difference.
Members of Congress and the Senate to demand they block the bill. He feels political win. He viewed it as a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really. Lincoln Riley.
Of course, her name is not Lincoln, it's Laken. It was even on the button he was holding in his hand.
An innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals?
So Joe Biden's response was admitting that, yes, an illegal killed a woman, but then he tried to flip it around, saying that legals kill people too. What a scumbag. Days later, Biden would be forced to apologize for using the term illegal to describe a murderer.
You use the word illegal when talking about the man who allegedly killed Laken Riley.
Say allegedly.
What I won't do, I'm not going to treat any of these people with disrespect. Look, they built the country.
And that's why the Democrats lost in 2024.
So if you've purchased a faulty car in California and won a huge check like I've got here, here's what you do.
So CNN's Frederica Whitfield showed a bunch of Republicans disrupting things and then made the following misleading statement.
None of them were censured nor escorted out.
I mean, sure, none of them were censured, but Joe Wilson was still reprimanded in a similar fashion via a House resolution. Wilson was in fact punished, but Whitfield didn't mention it, to give the impression that Al Green was somehow singled out.
Is this a reflection of the climate that we are in right now? What is the difference here of how what your experience was versus theirs?
Quite candidly, it is a double standard.
No, the difference is that Al Green interrupted Trump's address no more than 5 times and was only removed after being warned by the Speaker of the House 3 times. Now, look, most Democrats have not come out to defend Al Green's embarrassing disruption. Only the stupid ones did, including Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
She is so dumb and ghetto. And someone this dumb should never be in a political position, ever. And if you look into her old videos, she actually used to talk proper. The minute she got into politics and was elected, then she just went ghetto hood rat. And I'm sorry, if you're representing a state, you should talk more professional, not like a ghetto piece of trash. Sorry, not sorry.
Of Texas.
As we sat there, one of the things that no one is talking about is that Marjorie Taylor Greene was not, she was violating House rules as well. We are not allowed to wear any hats whatsoever, no matter what. Yet she sat there on that same day and she was wearing a hat. She was wearing a MAGA hat, and that was out of decorum. And no one said anything to her.
Well, the hypocrisy abounds.
No, there is no hypocrisy here because there is no House rule that prohibits hats. But Jasmine Crockett's ignorance knows no bounds.
So they are always focused on crime. They continue to say things like the illegals and that they broke the law coming in. But what they're not telling the American people is that it is a civil violation. It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally.
Wow. This woman is just too dumb to even take serious. She just said it's not illegal to illegally come into the country illegally. Texas, what are you doing? Voting for morons like this woman right here. I mean, oh my gosh, she's so dumb.
So according to federal lawmaker Jasmine Crockett, it's not a crime to enter the United States illegally. Makes sense to me. What's your problem? However, crossing the border illegally is a crime. It's a federal misdemeanor in violation of 8 U.S.C. 1325. A federal misdemeanor, by the way, is literally a criminal offense.
It's not a criminal, it's a crime. It's not a crime, which is why they're so frustrated. They want them to go and round people up on civil accusations.
Before Jasmine Crockett became a member of Congress, she was an ambulance-chasing lawyer. So it kind of explains things, right? Anyway, back to Congressman Al Green, also from the Lone Star State. Seriously, you can't do better in this, Texas? Anyway, you will not be surprised as to why Al Green believes that he was censured.
A good many of us don't realize it. There is still invidious discrimination. There is invidious discrimination in the House of Representatives.
It's racism.
In the House of Representatives, there is invidious discrimination.
That's all they ever say when they don't get their way. They cry like little babies. And when they get censored or don't get their way, they will say it's racism. This talking point has been so overplayed that no one's falling for it.
People can see it. And I think that's a good thing.
Oh, I see. Al Green is the victim.
I'm a son of the segregated South. The rights that the Constitution recognized for
the
me,
Democrats
my
were the
friends and neighbors
KKK who
denied.
were segregated them.
I had to sit in the back of the bus,
Oh.
the balcony of the movie, drink from a colored water fountain.
A, those Jim Crow laws were enacted by Democrats. And B, wasn't that like 60, 70 years ago?
I know what invidious discrimination looks like. The Klan burned a cross in my yard.
That's right. He's comparing the House of Representatives with the KKK.
Like I've been called all kinds of ugly names. So I know invidious discrimination. And when the speaker decided that I would be removed, and then there was this motion, this resolution to censure me, it became obvious to me that I was not being treated as others were.
Mm-hmm.
And candidly speaking, it is invidious discrimination, harmful discrimination.
The fact that Green claims that he was censured because racism is not only predictable, but shows that he can't and won't accept responsibility for any of his actions. Typical Democrat.
When I left, I went home and I saw the rest of the event on television.
Hang on. Green said earlier, quote, "I really didn't want to sit through what I knew the president would do." But then he ran home and watched Trump on TV? Yeah, sure, okay.
And I saw him point to the Democrats and say, these people are lunatics. He called the Democratic members of Congress lunatics.
They are lunatics.
Now that is incivility. He will not be punished for that.
Oh, while Biden called half the country racist. Are you kidding me?
In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me.
So not the way Al Green claims that it went down. I know, but keep in mind.
All right, guys. I'm going to get the other video started. This next one I'm going to be reacting to is Lefties Losing It. This has actually become one of my favorite type of videos to react to. Just give me a second while I load it, and then we'll get it started. Yeah, the Democrat Party has lost their mind. The Democrat Party has lost their damn minds, y'all. If you want to tell me otherwise, tell me why you disagree.
Favorite Trump deranged celebrities, though these days Rosie O'Donnell is only famous for emoting incoherently on TikTok about Trump and her fever dreams about living in a fascist dictatorship. And it seems those fever dreams have seen Rosie flee the US for Ireland. Yes, Ireland. Funny how these people never flee to a non-white, non-Christian country. They're not fleeing to Afghanistan or Zimbabwe or Guatemala.
Moved here on January 15th, and it's been pretty wonderful, I have to say. Never someone who thought I would move to another country. That's what I decided would be the best for myself and my 12-year-old child. I miss my other kids. I miss my friends. I miss many things about life there at home. And I'm trying to find a home here in this beautiful country. And when, it is safe for all citizens to have equal rights there in America, that's when we will consider coming back.
Oh, yes, she looks positively ecstatic there, so happy. It's almost contagious, like that cold sore that was on her mouth the last time she featured on Lefties. Exactly what rights is she being deprived of in the US? What rights does she no longer have? And is she aware that Ireland is a pretty socially conservative country? Abortion is only available on demand up to 12 weeks. That's more restrictive than the abortion laws in Mississippi, Rosie. Now let's go to Rosie's old show. She was a View co-host for several years, and as we well know, the level of weapon-grade crazy on that program has not changed, and the Lefties losing it aren't just the hosts, but also the guests. Watch here as supposed moderate Democrat Senator Elisa Slotkin says that her fellow countrymen, the majority of them, are dumb, overgrown teenagers whose brains haven't fully formed. Gosh, I wonder why the Dems are unelectable.
We're still pretty young for a country. These are our like our angry teenage years, right? We are going through this push and pull where we're happy, we're sad, we want this, we want that. And what do you do?
This is the Democrats' most moderate person they are putting forth. And this is the woman that's supposed to be like the new firebrand of the Democrat Party. She has changed her position on no policies, supports the trans nonsense in schools and in sports. This is how extreme the left has gotten. They're insane.
You have a teenager who's threatening themselves and others. You just try to get them through this period alive so that their brain can fully form and you can come back to kind of what Are a you country. talking about Trump? No, I'm talking about our country. We're pendulum swinging. We're pendulum swinging. And so for me, I think I don't think there's a single American who feels like this is normal.
Oh dear, when even leftists like Van Jones are telling you to stop insulting the country with your absurd characterizations, then perhaps you should reconsider the invitation to appear on The View and reflect on why your party is in crisis. Let's hear from Van Jones.
Look, man, we're screwed. I mean, we don't know. No, Democrats don't know what to do. This is a nightmare. Listen, the Democratic Party is going through a massive set of internal crises. You have a party that got trapped two ways. One, defending a broken status quo that nobody likes, because they thought that Donald Trump was going to make it worse. But when you're defending the status quo, you're going to lose. And then offending most people in the country, calling everybody sexist and racist and transphobic and every other name, and then saying, please follow us.
Now let's meet some straight young ladies who claim to be trans gay men. So these ladies were born ladies, they present as female, they like men, but they are somehow queer.
Trans gay men. Yeah, but we're femme presenting, so we were just shouting. We were shouting that we were trans gay men because we are. Trans gay men! What is it?
Dude, just look at these freaks. They look like freaks. No one's trying to touch you. These people have a mental disorder, or they need to seek advice from a medical person that sits down and talks to them about these kind of stuff, because this is not normal behavior for adults to act like this or look like this in public.
Is a trans gay man. Biologically female, but we're trans men and we're gay. We like guys. Do you have gender dysphoria? Yes, heavily. But you're still femme presenting? Yeah, I still femme present. I find it comfortable, but at the same time, it does get hard when I can't look masked. So do you identify as gay or queer? As queer.
I think they identify as insufferable attention seekers. Joining me now is political commentator and former senior advisor to RFK Jr., Link Lauren. Link, let's start with Dylan Mulvaney. He's back on The View, back all over social media, and with a new book to promote. I've got to ask, have you ordered your copy yet?
Great to be back with you, Rita. No, I have not ordered a copy of the book. I don't think I will be ordering a copy of the book. I don't know why Dylan Mulvaney needs a memoir, right? You're under 30, we're about the same age. Dylan Mulvaney put on a wig and a dress and suddenly wants to play the victim for fame and fortune. Unless you are Anne Frank or Malala or someone who has gone through a harrowing experience, we do not need a memoir from you if you are still a child.
Agreed.
Well, this is the thing. How much insight are we going to get, and how much do we want? Dylan was on The View yesterday, I think it was. We played some footage of that. And really what was more interesting than Dylan Mulvaney's appearance was Whoopi Goldberg going on this bizarre tirade about why men should be able to compete in women's sport, and no female athlete could possibly have a problem with that. I've got to say, Link, even Dylan Mulvaney looked bemused by Whoopi Goldberg's rant.
Absolutely. I mean, having an intellectual conversation with Whoopi Goldberg is like taking driver's ed from Stevie Wonder. It's something you don't want to do. I also just found out Whoopi Goldberg is not transgender herself. I thought for the longest time she was. I think Dylan going on The View is also
Link,
because it's the one room where Dylan is actually the most feminine person if you look at the panel of The View. So yeah, Dylan was befuddled, but about 80% of Americans, they do not want men in women's sports, right? This is an 80-20 issue here in the United States. So we're on the side of common sense. Dylan Mulvaney calls all of us extremists because we want common sense. We're in the middle. We're fair. We're balanced. We're looking at Dylan Mulvaney and Whoopi Goldberg thinking, you guys are the extremists for wanting men in women's sports and women's locker rooms.
Well, they were almost shocked that Gavin Newsom, the Democrat governor of California, said that it's unfair to have men's bodies in women's sports. So when Gavin Newsom is too right-wing for you, perhaps you've got some issues there. And the Democrats, well, when they're not busy calling most of the country racist or sexist or transphobic, they're on social media, Link, making absolute fools of themselves. So many examples. I'm just going to show a couple here because we don't have all day. Let's have a look at some of Jasmine Crockett's work.
Yeah, they tried to rig the game. But
she's so dumb.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like
oh my gosh.
And here's another Democrat. This one's old enough to know better. She's 82 years old. This is Rosa DeLauro. She just posted this on TikTok.
She is hideous looking.
Link, what is happening with the Democrats right now? Is there a sane, moderate voice among them who can restore some level of...
The closest one to moderate common sense, and he had a seizure is John Fetterman. I would say that's the closest one, and he's even extreme. Democrats are done.
Nationality and make them electable again?
The Democrats in DC, they do not want to work. They want to sing and dance and break into chorus on the House floor. They think they're in the show Glee or High School Musical. They do not want to work at all. Why don't you guys go to work for your constituents? You're posting these dancing videos. They don't want to work. They want to twerk. That's what's happening in Washington, D.C. But they're also in a deficit with young men. The Democratic Party here in the States, they're really at a deficit with young men.
Yes, Sharon. Tiffany Henyard, it's shocking that she hasn't been arrested on treason charges. She runs her city like the mob. I've looked into that, and it's just insane to me. Like, I feel like there's already enough evidence to lock Tiffany Henyard up and the rest of the Democrat Party. Come on, Trump, get on these arrests already.
Don't know what's going on with Jasmine Crockett or Congresswoman DeLauro, but how is that going to help you with young men? I mean, this woman is 82 years old. She looks like Grisabella from Cats. Young men aren't really resonating with that image the Democratic Party is putting forward.
Well, no, because they portray young men as the enemy. They talk about how toxic masculinity is, and they really have made no effort to moderate those views at all. Meghan Markle, now I can't...
All right, guys, that's the end of this video. I will be doing a live of Piers Morgan's that he just released today about Doge and Democrats and Republicans' opinions of it. Hope you guys enjoy this live. Love you guys. Have a great day.